Can you film the artist touching his canvas? This will be a part of the interview. When did you start painting, actually?
I remember myself painting when I was 3, and my mother told me about an episode that I forgot. I took a pencil and I started to go all around my mom's house, making a line.
On the wall?
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of the street art actually paintings?
Yes, even because my mom didn't say, don't do it. She said, oh, that's very nice.
So, well, you are a very famous street artist in Italy, actually. Your works are in many cities. They are also in America, in Miami, in London, Shoredich. And have you ever been to Moscow? Do you know if there are some works of you there in Russia?
I was there 8 years ago, and I was showing for the Young Biennale, and I show my works in the Vinzavod.
Why street art? What is your main, reason of choosing this big scale painting?
When I started, for sure was a kind of a challenge to make it bigger and to make something really, really big. And when I achieved to do it, when I make really big painting, really complex painting, little by little I understood that the most important thing is about making a relationship with the viewer or with the surface. So now it moved from formally interesting to conceptually interesting.
You often choose famous artworks and then you work over them and you transform them. Why choosing these paintings?
First of all, I like to steal.
Good.
I like to steal. I like to. It's what I like. I tend to get it physically, and after. Internet now give us the possibility to have all these encyclopedia of images and of history of art and tradition of the use of the image developed since the prehistoric engraving on the stones. So I'm just using that tool like internet as a tool. So I just get and mix different sources. I think that humanity still creates so many images that maybe you don't need to create new. So it's just work. It's just like the cooking. You just take different ingredients, you mix it, and you see what came out. This is visual experimentation.
Can I give you my interpretation?
Sure.
And then you have petroleum platforms there. This famous fish, which is catch and her stomach open, with all the stuff she could eat in this polluted water of petroleum. And you have girls from Turkish baths of anger looking at this and saying, okay, no, we are not going in there. It is kind of manifesto of ecological protection, I don't know.
You know what I'm trying to do with my paintings is to leave the interpretation to the viewer. So as I told you before, this is an experiment of mixing different elements. And of course I have an initial intention to say something, but usually during the process I get more ideas, I add something. I realize that people who see have many different interpretations. I think that that's the real power of art. When the art works as a tool,
yes,
as a tool for the viewer. So when the art works as a mirror, so the viewer can see himself and can see his fears or his desires. Why the art is so precious? It's not precious because you put a lot of energy doing that, or just because it's beautiful. It's precious because it's a tool, and it's a tool for the consciousness of the people, and can really make change into the society and into the culture, and develop new ideas, and underlining not what's wrong, but what's inside people. I started to steal works from the Louvre, especially for this exhibition in France, my first exhibition in Paris. So I got masterpieces, Italian masterpieces from the Louvre, and I added elements over it, deleting some part with pixels, like the sense, like sometimes they do it with the censorship. For privacy, and also because it's the face and the hands is the first thing you see in a painting or in an image. Covering the faces was a way to shortcut the power of the image. I'm very interested in the power of the image, and that's why the other painting is the Mona Lisa, which is a very powerful image. So I added this stroke, which I made with my finger very fast in the trackpad, in Photoshop. I work with Photoshop, so I add different layers and I try to transform the original work into something unknown or into something disturbing. I'm studying tarots because I think that tarots, it's just my feeling, but it's documented that tarots are the alphabet of the Western tradition of imagery. So you can find religious symbol, you can find magic symbol, alchemy, and studying the tarots, working with those very raw symbol, but at the same time very complex symbol, it gave me, I understood what I was trying to do with my research. I have a festival, a street art festival. I'm the artistic director in Italy, and it's a valley full of inscriptions. So into this valley every year I invite 2 different artists. Last year I had to paint in this wall, which was nearby the place who was recognized as the place where Leonardo stand in order to get the background of the Mona Lisa.
Really, where is it? Exactly?
It's called Val Camonica, and it's Lago di Iseo. It's a lake, it's a valley, and there's a lake. So the lake it's over there. This is the valley. So after studies, they recognize they have just theories. They are not sure, but they got 2 different places. One of these is that valley. This part I paint on PVC, which is plastic, which is printed. So I took off those big advertising. I recycling these. It's more upcycling because I take this, which is trash, and I transform into art. And sometimes I leave the elements, some of the elements of the background. I absorb it into the composition. Here was a number 5, and for example the other painting was that corner. I cut it in a random part, and I frame it, and after I turn it and I see what's going on.
What are the painters that you are inspired by?
I'm inspired by Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
I'm inspired. Okay, we are just in front of this,
and
but I think
behind you as well.
Yeah, I don't like the Mona Lisa because it's overexposed and over.
I agree.
I like the way in which Leonardo was using the painting as a tool to understand the reality and to investigate the reality. So that's the best thing that an artist can do while experimenting and painting some masterpieces. It's using his art and his mastery to know more about the world.
Okay, and that's what you do too.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.